it will be um, I don't know how many persons are watching live. Um, this is me trying out what's training and yeah, doing streamyard. I want to do JavaScript as well. Just to let people to go into the JavaScript. So we have someone on the screen already. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's very heavy. For me, it's very heavy, very heavy. What you guys for? The goal is just to do JavaScript. Just find a way to put some content out there that can connect people, that can make it and get it through. Most especially those who are trying to learn programming, right? Also, I'm also part of like of school Africa. So I also like people who are going to school, also the team with also like doing one or two things, like there's a case in the team. So there's just play around JavaScript. That's the major thing I want to do here today on this stream. So I'm going to be okay. The sound is not a bit clear. I'm coming. Give me a few minutes to adjust some things here. This is my first stream, so and it's going to be a bit um and it's going to be a bit low. I'm back. I don't know how this sounds now, right? Okay. All right. So let me send a tweet out as well to people. So that in case there is anyone who wants to join us, and yeah, in case there's anyone who wants to join us. So I'm about sending out a tweet. So that anyone who is currently interested can join. Um, looking for. So this streaming is happening simultaneously on YouTube and Twitter, right? And I'm using a software, a particular. I'm using a particular app called StreamYards, right? Live already. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, right? You can follow me on Twitter. And yeah, just subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you have interest in maybe learning JavaScript and some other things that can help you to, I mean, that can help you to improve your skills, right? By teaching JavaScript. So the stream today would not be like so much more like long, but the goal is just to be like the goal is just to be able to help people, right? Especially those people who are interested in getting into like writing code or writing or programming, basically, as the case may be. So that's the goal of um, that's the goal of this. That's the goal of this class, right? To help people who are interested in JavaScript. JavaScript is becoming something very important as the whole web ecosystem is, you know, the whole web ecosystem is increasing day by day, right? So just play with JavaScript. I mean, basic JavaScript, and I hope to do more HTML content, more CSS content, and eventually we can do maybe more, um, do more back-end, front-end content, or we can do more React content. But the goal, right, is just to keep playing around things that can help people be good as writing code. So, and this is just my first try. I don't know whether it's going to be good, but I hope it benefits as many people as possible. So let me just share my screen, right? I'm a bit nervous as well, so please bear with me. Right, I hope you can see. Let me know if you can see my screen. Just let me know if you can see my screen. If you can see my screen. Okay. I'm also trying to confirm if people can see my screen. Okay, I guess people can see my screen. All right. So this is just my terminal, right? And the goal is I want to open my VS Code and yeah, a couple of tools that we'll be using to work around here, right? So the goal is to get you introduced to JavaScript as the case may be. The goal is to get you to JavaScript as the case may be. So also, I mean, for say a follow up of what I'm going to be covering today, right? I'm just going to be talking more about JavaScript using a tool called javascript.info, right? And this is like, for anybody who knows me, knows that this is one of the best materials or resources I have ever seen, like teaching, teaching JavaScript. So, I mean, I won't be teaching directly from this resource, but most of what I'm going to be talking about is going to be built around this particular resource. So I hope, um, basically, I hope we can just play around maybe some part of these JavaScript fundamentals, right? Little things that I think are very important to solidify for those of you who have existing knowledge, right? It will help you. And for those who are just like coming around to learn what JavaScript is at all, you also can benefit a ton around it. So the tool I'm going to be using is Microsoft Visual Studio. You can just, if you don't have, you can go to just search for VS Code download, right? You get a link to download this VS Code for whatever platform you're using, whether you're using Windows, right, Ubuntu or Mac operating system. So for me, I'm using Ubuntu, right? So sorry, I'm using Mac, and I like to also open my VS Code from my terminal almost all the time. So that's why you see me here. So for all this live streaming that I'm going to be doing as well, I would just like to make sure that all the code is in a particular folder, and I can also like share it on GitHub. So I could just make a new folder here, right? With say live streaming, or say what should we use? JavaScript live streaming, live streaming. So I am inside the folder JavaScript live streaming. Eventually, also I hope to maybe share the code online, depending on whichever way I maybe feel so right to share the code. So that popped up my VS code, right? Also, I want to be sure that what I am doing is making sense, right? I want to be sure that what I am doing is making sense because I'm not using like my second screen at the moment to know if what I am doing is actually making sense. But then I'm trying to also watch the stream. Yeah, I think I can see what's going on. Using my phone to check what's going on Twitter, right? Okay, so I mean, I don't know. This is not going to be the best, but and it's going to be rough. All right. So, yeah, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language, right, that has taken over the whole world, right? I mean, from guys who work with mobile apps to people who work on websites and to people who work on desktop applications, right? JavaScript has become something very important. I mean, I can remember like 4, 5 years or 6 years back the line when I was trying to make a decision to say, okay, which programming language do I really want to invest my time in, right, and learn as a person. And eventually, I think I picked JavaScript, and watching JavaScript grow into something that you can use across platform, like use on mobile end, use on desktop, and use on the web. And then not only it's also like forming a space where you can use it on a back end, and you can use it on the server side, right, using Node.js. And we have different kind of frameworks. You have React, you have Vue.js, you have Next.js, we have Remix. You have all of these cool things that you can just do with JavaScript. So I can tell you that if you get a chance to really learn JavaScript, it's going to really help you a lot in your, like, even if you might not maybe get a job directly or easily, but I can tell you that like your knowledge of JavaScript will never be a waste. It is going to help you because you have a power to build stuff, a power to create things that other people can use. So, I mean, like I say again, I'm going to be using a resource called javascript.info. That is the resource. I don't know if people can see my browser, right? I'm not sure if you can see my browser yet, but the resource I want to use is okay. So I think watching myself on Twitter, I can see my browser. All right, bear with me. This is my first time trying to stream using StreamYard. I know it's going to be rough, but yeah, I also hope to maybe like start streaming on Twitch as well. I mean, I just want to write code and I want people to, as I'm writing the code, I want to explain to people. I want people to benefit from this, right? And yeah, you can share with your friends that are learning. I mean, you can show me love on Twitter if if you like what I'm doing. I mean, I also hope to like get some gears, right? Maybe like a camera, a mic, like maybe like another second screen as well. I mean, so yeah, and maybe set up my office as well. So, but all of this is just depending on how much vibe I get from this live streaming. But the goal is I just want to help people, right? So if you're there, you really need this badly, right? I mean, just get on and sit down with me for like 30 minutes and let me try to explain to you what JavaScript is and how it can really help you, right? So let's quickly get to what we want to talk about. So, I mean, for every programming language in this life, right, it's about declaring things and it's about carrying out an action. So, JavaScript, like every other programming language, has something called variable declaration, right? And that's where quite earlier on, we had things like using the var keyword to declare a variable. So, right, this is a declaration of variable, but you just declared something and then we didn't give it anything. So you just declared it to be at this state to be what's undefined. When you declare and you assign it a value, so you not only assign it to be undefined, but you say, oh, this is name, right? And this name is equals to what? John. I don't know if anybody's bearing John on the stream. So from this point, we now I think from this point we now have, I don't know why this is popping up here. From this point, you now have a variable called what? John. From this point, you have a variable called John. From this point, you have a variable called John. I don't know why this is popping up. But earlier on is the var keyword that is the key thing here. That is, var keyword is just a keyword that must be in every variable declaration that you're doing. And then name, this name is an identifier. Okay, it's an identifier and it has some rules that it must follow, right? It cannot start with maybe numbers. You can say nine and say and pass it a name, it cannot have like space in between and you say this is not the identifier cannot be like this. And then you can see this equal to sign, which is not your normal equal to sign. It is something called assignment. So, right, the component of this is what? The variable keyword, the variable declaration, the variable declaration keyword, comma, right, the identifier, the assignment operator, right? I said equals to is not your normal equals to in JavaScript, the assignment operator, and then we have what? The value, the value. So this, these four things is what makes what makes a proper variable declaration. And then for people who maybe have heard about like modern JavaScript, you would have seen maybe something like let, yeah, or you would have seen something like const here. And people are wondering what led to us having moving from var to say let and const. I mean, so JavaScript is a programming language that I think in the past 10 years has evolved so fast as well, right? It's changing so fast. So we have a community called ECMAScript, right? They are EC TC39. They are a community called TC39 that they are the ones in charge of managing JavaScript. JavaScript is called ECMAScript as well. And so it is this committee that manages the updates of the programming language JavaScript itself, right? And they have a couple of additional updates that they gave us, I think 2015 exactly. And it's always called ES 2015 or ES6 as the case may be, right? That is, they added the ability for us to be able to use let and const while we are declaring variable. So there are new two keywords in declaring. So before we know about var as a keyword, I don't know if you have questions, like you can post your questions on you can post your question. Wow, hello Abdulaziz, right? This is huge. Somebody's here. Hello Abdulaziz. I mean, thank you so much for joining, right? I hope this meets your need as well. This is Saturday where people should be resting, and I am writing code here. Right, so this is really beautiful. I don't know how many people are also streaming on Twitter, right? So, for everyone that is on the stream, thank you so much. I mean, so dropping back to what I am explaining, right? how to just declare a variable in JavaScript. So at first we talked about using the var keyword. You could declare something like this, but as time went by, we add let, and you can always read this as to say let name equals to, or let name be assigned a value of John, let age be assigned a value of 30. So it means that any place where you have name, any place where you have age, they would have the value of John, or age would have the value of 30. And that is how to know that, okay, this variable has been declared, or you can use the word it has been initialized and it has been given a value, right? Assigned, initialized, and assigned. That is, they have what created a variable, declared it, and then they have initialized it with a value. So it is this value that you can maybe go ahead and use, and and do things with in programming. So I mean, we can display, you can use maybe like console.log age multiplied by 30, right? This you can do certain operations with this, do certain operations with this. I don't know why this is popping up. This is really annoying. I've got some popping ups here. Just global. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can fix this. Sees yes linked CZ. So I have, I think yes linked. I think I should be able to find it with code linked. C linked. Let me look at the error again. Sorry. The error here is just global is unknown. I think I have to find just globals. So I think that should fix that silly error that was popping up the other time. Environment key just global is unknown. See ESLint output. I mean, I've seen ESLint output. Can I restart this? Reload. Window. So I think the error has gone. If I'm right, it's no longer back. How do I fix this double error now? This error want to disgrace me on this live stream. Okay. I thought I already just global test. I'm not able to comment this out. CLI option environment key global is on CS link output one details. I'm seeing ES link output now, and I cannot see what you want me to do. Just global, just global. Don't know why this is giving me trouble. This, I mean, just allow me to in JavaScript. I mean, just bear with me so that if I can fix this subsequent times, I should be able to fix this. So, like I was trying to just explain, like, declaring a variable and using a variable. So Also, how do we run some of this our code, right? We have various ways in which we can run this code, right? But I mean, we can run our code from the terminal, right? And then you can see the way I just run the code. I have, I think, another tool called born hello.js. Okay. So I mean, there are a lot of tools there, but I mean, this might not be a very good experience for some of you. You can go inside your VS Code and go to the extensions bar and search for something called Coca.js, right? Coca.js, and then you can, you can see a small setting, a small button here called install, and then just install it here. And then once you install Coca, it gives you the ability to, you can do Command Shift P or Control Shift P if you're using a Windows machine, and then you can write, I think, run. I think just type Coca. I think Coca should start on current. Yeah, I think you can use start on current. So you would see that now it's displaying this 90 here, that is age, which is 30. Like I said, it will always replace the value of age with what would assign it to be. So here you have this age is replaced with 30, and then you have 30 multiplied by 30, and then you have 9900. And so this is a very quick way in which you can just run your JavaScript. And also you'll see these green squiggles or these green bars here on each line that our Coca engine is running. So for Coca to underground, Coca is running with the help of Node.js, I think. You can see here it's telling me that it is using Node.js version, I think 14.17. Yeah, I think I have version 18, so I might eventually start using version 18, depending on the case, maybe. Right. So, I know for some of you guys, you might already know what variable declaration is, right? Already. But I mean, the goal here is to just try to explain JavaScript like from the scratch, right? Explain JavaScript from the scratch. So it's I don't know how it feels though, but this is what you be expected to like know as a JavaScript developer, like the starting point, right? Where you're able to declare a variable that can hold a value, where you're able to declare a variable that can hold a value, right? So I said var keyword was like what we started using initially, right? To just declare and hold values, but modern JavaScript EXs, right? EXs, right? Or yes, 2015 gave us access to what? So let and const. Yes, 26 gave us access to let and const. And yeah, I won't explain the difference between let and const, except if maybe there is somebody in the comment that is asking me exactly what let and const is, right? But I mean, I won't do that. But the goal right here is for you to just be able to declare variables. I've said like there are three major concepts in when you're declaring a variable, right? You have the variable declaration keyword, you have the identifier, and then you have assignment operator, and then you have the value. So you can declare a value, you can declare a particular value, and the value you can declare might not only be string. It can be string, it can be numbers, it can be different data types. So as time goes on by, right, I would also talk about like different data types as well. Talk about like different data types, but right now I wish you can just understand that like to declare any variable in JavaScript, all you just need is what you need, like your declaration keyword, you need an identifier, you need a particular value, right, to assign. And equals to sign is not like your normal equals to from your maybe mathematics. It is an assignment operator. It is an assignment operator. So that is that with declaration of variable. And taking it further, um, I can quickly just touch on data types. I wouldn't really do much today, right? Because I am just starting. This is like my first stream. I don't know how it looks like. I will just go back and watch it to like learn from what I am doing. And I'm not using my second screen as well. So it's like I'm just trying it out, and I'm using a particular software called StreamYard. I'm using their studio for this. So I don't know. Am I going to like it? Will I be able to keep up? Depends on people that are watching and depending on the value that people are getting from it. So I also hope I can stream on Twitch and, like I said, take it further to React and talk about different tools. Yeah, different stuff, right? So, yeah, for data types. So what are data types? Like data types means that for every data you have in any programming language, it must have a particular type, type of the data. So I mean, you will see like when you see particular programming, maybe say a programming file like maybe .py file or a .js file or anything, you will see that some are quoted, some are just numbers, they're not quoted. Why are they like that? And it's because that's data type. That is, for everything you'll be seeing, it must have a data type. That is the type of data it is, right? When you look at this John has a double quote and it's emphasizing on the fact that John is a string. And so you'll see the way in which you really know, and our VS Code or the tool that we are using, right, is a very intelligent tool that helps us to really tell you the type of data. It can infer. Yeah, for those who maybe know more than I do, right? You know what the word infer means. That is, infer means like it can say, I think this particular variable, the way I'm looking at it, it is a particular variable called string. And that also lead me to say, like, we have a programming language, like an extension of JavaScript called TypeScript, which is a bit more strict. That is, it allows you to just say, oh, anything you are going to be declaring or using, you have to put the type there. And it's taking over the world gradually, right? So I believe, like, if you're learning JavaScript, it's good to have plans to like learn TypeScript, because I mean, if you have the good knowledge of JavaScript and TypeScript, I mean, you are a hot cake around here. I mean, if you're in Nigeria, you should be able to get a very good job, like a good source of livelihood, right? So yeah, so that's data type when it is. So for strings, right, you would most likely be seeing it with double quotes, or you see it with his first name. You would always see it with either single quote as well. His name, his surname is Ojo, right? And then you can also see it with what backticks. So you can see it in double quote, single quote, and backticks. And the advantages of some of these, like for example, for this backtick here, is that it can do multiple lines, right? It can do multi lines, and then at times as well, not even at times, it can do interpolation. Interpolation is, it allows us to put some JavaScript code here, but I won't really do emphasis on this much. But this is something that that anything that has double quote, single quote, yeah, string in JavaScript is a string in JavaScript. Is a string in JavaScript. Also, you see that age is a number, right? So in JavaScript, we don't have say integer or float or double. That is, integer is plus or minus whole number, right? And then decimal places is when something that has decimal places, the float data type, right? Where you have maybe 99.98. Like all of these are just like the same thing. So we regard them as just number in JavaScript. And another key one that we have in JavaScript is you have the Boolean data type. You have is admin, or say is married. Yeah, he's married. Is married to be what, false, right? So This is married now is assigned a variable called what, true or false, and that means it's what, a boolean. So in programming as well, we have another data type called boolean, right? What does that data type do? The data type is just used to store what? Is used to store if it's used to store just conditions, like a two condition. So something can be either true or something can be false, right? And yeah, we have other ones, but for this start, this is what I just want you to know about. And yeah, so another thing you'll be using a lot is console.log. So what does console.log mean? Console.log is just the way in which we print out our code in JavaScript. That is whatever variable you have declared. Console.log gives you the power to be able to display it. Console.log gives you the power to be able to display it. This is freaking annoying. This pop-up. I don't know why it's just disturbing my work. Yeah. I mean, before the next live stream, I'm going to fix it. Before the next live stream, I'm going to fix it. Just bear with me. So yeah, this is console.log is like what is the best tool that you're going to be using a lot here to be able to like display your code or display what you're writing or what you're doing here. So I can display first name, right? So you will see that what it's able to display my name here. Also, you can see it also I think output should be able to show output Coca. There's Coca, there should be Coca here. So you can see also, you see the way this one is displayed here, right? On line 16. You see the way it's displayed on line 16 because of the way it was declared with backticks to declare multiple lines. So I mean, so for this particular stream today, right? The goal is just, I mean, I've just put emphasis on variable declaration, a little bit of data types, and I mean, and console.logs, displaying whatever whatever you are like on. So I mean, for even experienced JavaScript developer, we can't stop using console.log because that's the only way in which we can confirm whether something is working or not. So I mean, I'll just do a little bit of, so if you want extra materials to help you, right, you can always forward to this great material javascript.info, and then you can also use free code camp. I'm currently like teaching on outschoolafrica.com as well. If you have not heard about it, you can Google them, right? Right. I'm talking about HTML, CSS. I mean, the basics of what makes somebody a software engineer, right? That's what I am talking with. So JavaScript.info is the best material so far, like I know of, right? And every of the things I talked about in variable can be found in this section, right? So I can drop this link in some of the comments, especially for those on YouTube, and yeah, variables and data type section. So I can drop them on the YouTube channel. So I mean, I would just want to maybe stop for now. Yeah. I don't know how what you think about it, right? About what I am trying to do. If it makes sense to you, you can. I mean, just yeah, you can just comment, drop comments on me. I would really like love to hear what people are, and then I also love to like go and rewatch what rewatch what I am doing so I can see whether it meets the needs of people, right? Depending on the case maybe, as the case may be. So I mean, but I've shared a link to just like the two things that I just did emphasis on, right? Which is the variable declaration and then data types, right? Emphasis on variable declaration and data types, right? I mean, it's not in depth, but I mean, it's just basic. And this is like what we are just able to come up with, like Just to recap, basically, right, using var keyword to declare variable, and we said the three major components of variable declaration is you have a var keyword, you have the identifier, which is the name, and then you have the assignment operator, which is the equals to, and then you have the value you're trying to assign, right? So, and we also said like ES6 or ES 2015 gave us let and const to also what declare variable. Also, I talked about data types a bit, right? That we can have string, you're gonna have numbers, you can have um Boolean. I think those were like the three data types that I talk about. So I don't know. I just like to like stop here. I don't know. I've not seen any question on the chat, right? But if you have questions or anything, just let me know. And yeah, I mean, in the subsequent, for everyone who's watching, I don't know how many persons are watching, right? Thank you. Yeah, if I'm going to go live, I'm going to be dropping it. See, I have a Discord channel, right? And I have my friends on Twitter. I'll just drop it over. But I mean, just invite your friends who you know want to learn, and you can always tell me what you want me to talk about, right? So that I know exactly what you want me to talk about. I think it's been almost like 45, 43 minutes of me talking. Yeah, I don't know how it feels for you guys, but people would want me to like do more. But I believe like I want people to be able to just watch this and be able to understand what I've just talked about, right? These are just baby steps of learning how to write code. So I hope you don't get tired of learning it, and I hope you start making a living by writing code. I mean, that's what I do for a living, right? So thank you for joining the live stream, and yeah, see you guys later. All right, peace out.